Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this chain brake portion of your sled. You need the 24 links of the yellow plastic chain that comes in yellow or white. So knock yourself out as to which one you want. You need your two 9-eyes carabiners, the small ones. I need two of these 1.5 inch shrink tube, and then these crimp ferrules. These are 3/32 crimp ferrules and some 3/32 plastic coated cable. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do one side at a time, and then you can duplicate the other side. See how it's done. So I put on my ferrule, my stop, I put on that piece of shrink tube, put on this here crimp, and then I want about 3 inches. This doesn't really matter. I mean, you just need a loop here, and I'm gonna call it about, so that's about 3-inch loop. And so now I'm going to go over to my vise and I'm going to crimp this in place. Okay, that's crimped into position. Okay, now that we've got that end crimped into position, I am going to run this heat shrink tube up on there, and I'm going to melt that into position. Just melt it on there. Okay. Next step, we're going to take our ferrule, our stop, and we are going to run it up on here, and then I'll go crimp that down with the vise as well. Okay, now that this end is secured right here, we're going to fasten this through the chain. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ferrule on, or my stop, excuse me. Then I'm going to put my ferrule, or my heat shrink tube, and then I'm going to put my ferrule on here, my crimp ferrule, and I'm going to run it through my chain, and then back through here. And then what I'm going to do is take this side, because I want the two sides to match. I'm going to take this side, bring it up here so that I can make sure that the two sides match. Looks like they do. So now I'm going to take this over and I'm going to crimp it down. Once again, through the center of that chain, and that's what it looks like. Okay, now we've got our chain brake assembly created. So this clips on opposing, and then these quick link connectors just go on here for right now. We'll put them on later. Don't lose them. So that is your chain brake assembly. We'll hook it up to the sled in a little while. Okay, so on this, for our chain brake, we have a tie down up top, the 3/8 by 1 inch bolt going through, and then underneath we have a fender washer, a star washer, another one of the tie down points. This is what our chain brake will attach to. And then I have my locking nut underneath. So I'm going to start to tighten that up, and then we'll get it into position for final tightening. Okay, right now it's snug, so I can try and get everything positioned. I want this one off of the edge of the sled. I don't want it right up against the edge of the sled. So you can use something up underneath there to kind of hold it in position, or you can just hold it by your hand to try and get the last tightening done. Let's check it underneath. Okay, away from the sled. Over. Finish up tightening it down. Now that's exactly what I want it to look like underneath there. I want some gap between the ring and the tie down point and the edge of the sled. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the other one. Now our chain brake just attaches right up here. I usually do it on the second link in. Okay, then I'll tighten that down with the wrench, and there is our chain brake. And this hooks to our harness, and in the meantime, we just flip that up out of the way. I usually fasten it to one of the attachment loops, and we're ready to go. Okay, one thing I wanted to show you is how that chain brake works. So I'll bring this sled back over. So I've got my hip belt here. I also got this from Pulk, and they make some great stuff. Give them a shout out. So I adapted this a little bit. So I just added a little piece of paracord, dropped a ring down there so it centers my brake line up with my brake. So right here on this belt is a Night Eyes little camlock, and I've just got it clipped into the belt here so that I can just reach down and pull that, and it allows this paracord to drop out, and then that paracord can just run out free. I put a barrel knot in the end to keep it from going completely through. So when it hits there, that paracord is out to where that chain is underneath the sled. Then when I want that to come back in, I want to take the brake up, I just pull it down and when I get it up to where the chain's up where I want it, I just lock it back into that cam lock and it keeps it up. And then I just tuck this spare in underneath my belt for traveling. So the way this hooks up is just clip this in, and like I said, it's opposing carabiners. That way I don't lose it, because when it gets under there and gets jostling around it, I've lost it before. So not a good thing when your brake's stuck underneath there and you have to disassemble everything to go get it. So this works really, really well. I've really liked it.